Okay, in this video we're going to talk about the proper way to introduce a muzzle. Now Rocky is quiet right now, and so hopefully he stays the case. Now, two things. There are two types of muzzles. There's the muzzle that everybody likes to use, because it looks better. It's called a snout muzzle. It goes around the dog's snout, and it prevents them from opening their mouth. Usually if you have a dog that's reactive, you want them to be able to open their mouth, not to bite, but to cool down. Otherwise they can overheat. So you want to get the one that looks like it's a cage. I describe it as looking like a face mask. It's plastic bars. The dog can open its mouth. It can drink water. You can get treats into it. That's the type of muzzle that you want to use. Now, dogs learn through association, repetition, and good timing. If I only put the muzzle on when somebody comes in the house that I don't like, I start to associate a negative with this muzzle. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can use positive reinforcement to help your dog have a good association with the muzzle. I don't have a muzzle here, so I'm going to use this as my analog. So this would be kind of the area that it would go in the dog's snout. So what I would do is get a piece of roast beef or whatever the lunch meat is that the dog really likes. Just a piece about like maybe that big. So what I do at first is I put the piece of roast beef so it's hanging half of it in, half of it out of the muzzle. I hold it up, let the dog come over and take the roast beef. Again, make it about that big, not too big. We don't want the dog chomping it forever. We're giving him a lot of this roast beef. And then we let him walk away. Then we take another piece of roast beef, put it here. This time it's a little bit further inside the muzzle, but I mean just marginally so. We're gonna do this about 10 to 15 times throughout the day. Each time the treat is the roast beef is gonna be more and more inside the kennel or the muzzle until the last time we do it, where it's pretty much all completely inside the muzzle. So I guess to kind of dip its nose in there. And every time he takes it and he gets it and walks away. We're not even putting the muzzle on. The second day, and some dogs, I'm saying 15 is baseline, some dogs might need more, some dogs might need less. So basically the second day what we do is we put the muzzle over there, maybe 25% out, 75% in, and when the dog goes and gets it, we start out the first 2 or 3 times doing it that way, then we're putting it completely in the muzzle, just flat. He's got to stick his nose in there to get it. And so each time when he sticks his nose in, you put this on, you won't be able to hear me, but you put this on and you tilt it up. So it's like, and then as soon as he gets it, we pull it away. So it's only on his muzzle for a fraction of a second. He's getting this delicious roast beef, or other meats too. I just find roast beef is most appealing for dogs. So again, 15 slices this, and they're all inside. Now the difference is this time, after he gets it, I give him another, like one of these training treats that I'm gonna leave as a package. So he gets a second treat. And then we do that all day long, and each time we do this, we wanna hold it on his nose slightly longer. So the first time it's like this. Second time it's like this. Third time it's, so we're getting progressively used to having the muzzle on, but every time the muzzle comes off, I get a treat, and every time I put my nose in there, I get a really tasty piece of roast beef. The third day, what we want to do is we put the piece of roast beef in there, he sticks his nose in there, when he does, you attach it, and then immediately detach it. So it's, boom, boom, and it's off. Second time we do it, we leave it, we attach it, we count to 1, then we detach it. Then 2, and sometimes you can go by 3, sometimes you can go by 5s, whatever it is, but we want to progressively get him used to having that on for longer and longer periods of time. So by the end of the third day, you could have it on him for like a minute, and you might want to even, anytime he starts to scratch at it, start giving him treats through it, and you could hold one and do the kind of, what I would do is grab one of these. What I do is I hold it on the flat side, and then I smash it like this. So I can have him nibbling on it through the muzzle. The idea is we want to prevent him from trying to knock it off. We want to just, hey, when the muzzle comes on, you get all sorts of deliciousness. And then we're progressively having him have it on longer and longer. Now I'm saying this, in most of my clients, 3 days is sufficient for this. I've had a couple of clients that had to go to 5 days, and so stretch it out. Go by your dog's timetable. If your dog's showing you it's still too much, you might have 2 days of just take it on, putting it off. But the idea is, if you do it properly, you pull out the muzzle, you'll see the dog's tail going, he'll run over and shove his nose in there because he likes the muzzle. The muzzle has a positive association. Now the other thing about the muzzle is we don't want to only use it when somebody comes over that the dog doesn't like or is going to be reactive. For the first week, we want to have the dog wearing the muzzle in the house with nobody here and no reason to react, so he gets comfortable wearing the muzzle in a normal, relaxed place. If we only put the muzzle on when people are here, then he starts to associate the muzzle means I'm being punished, and it's because this guy is here, and I resent this guy even more. So if we do this enough, then we get to the point where the dog can have the muzzle on, feel comfortable in the muzzle, and that makes everybody else feel more confident because we've negated his ability to bite. Now he can pull that off, the muzzle off eventually, but if he really works at it. But that's why we want to get him so used to it and create a lot of positive association. So when the muzzle goes on, we're not bringing him around the kids that he doesn't like or the situation he doesn't like for at least a week or two. And then when we put the muzzle on, he's had it on a little bit of time, then we bring the person in, we do the situation, then he leaves. But every day he should have some time with the muzzle on, when under no stress and with no bad situations and no stimulus, nothing that he's reacted to. So he just gets used to it. It's normal. All right, this is how you can teach your dog to enjoy having a muzzle on.